Hello, come in. This is a story of wind, blue veils, and the song a girl must choose to follow. Her name was Layla, born under the starlit dunes of the Sahara, where the only clocks were shadows and camel tracks. Her family were Tuareg nomads, keepers of stories and salt, always moving, always singing. Layla's favorite sound wasn't her mother's lullabies or her father's imzad violin. It was the rhythm of camel hooves pressing into the sand, steady, ancient, familiar. Her hands knew how to set up a tent in minutes, how to braid dates into rope, how to read the wind before the storm arrived. But her mind wandered to books. Ever since a government van visited the encampment years ago, a female police officer had stepped out, her skin dark like Layla's, her head wrapped in blue, but with a badge glinting like fire. She handed Layla a children's book about the desert, and that was the moment something shifted. Layla started sneaking off with the book every night, reading its worn pages by lantern light. It told stories about ancient queens and modern women who kept the peace. One evening, under a full moon, her uncle announced the caravan would head deeper south for a trade route, but Layla said she wanted to stay. Her father laughed, not unkindly but in disbelief. "You are desert-born," he said, "not made for concrete and clocks." Her mother said nothing, just handed Layla her own veil, the indigo one that stained her skin blue like a mark of belonging. The next week, Layla walked for hours toward the village, with only a small pouch of tea, the book, and the wind pushing at her back. The school was nothing like she imagined, loud, fenced, full of fluorescent lights and sharp tongues. But she stayed, because inside her chest was a compass pointing to something only she could follow. She was mocked for her clothes at first. "Desert girl," they called her. "Camel princess." But during an essay competition, she wrote about how silence speaks in the Sahara, how footsteps can be a form of language. The judges fell silent when she read it. Her voice didn't tremble. It rang like tin against stone. She sent a letter home by a traveling cousin. Her father sent back no reply, only a single word sewn into cloth: Asaf, longing. One night, the police academy announced an open exam. Layla studied harder than anyone, even while fetching water and sweeping floors. She passed. Barely, but she passed. At the academy, she stood out again, not just as a girl, but as a nomad who could navigate without GPS and sense danger by how the sky smelled. Then the letter came. Her mother had fallen ill. The caravan was heading east. Her father said it might be their last route together. Layla packed her bag with indecision. To go was to leave the academy. To stay was to betray the footsteps that raised her. That night, she sat under the city stars, which seemed dim and foreign, and for the first time in months, she cried. Her instructor found her there. "Duty," he said, "is not always a uniform. Sometimes it's just being where you're needed most." Layla took the long journey back. The desert greeted her like an old friend, fierce, hot, honest. Her mother's eyes lit up when she arrived. She whispered, "You walk like your grandmother, like you belong to two worlds." Layla stayed for the final journey of her mother, riding camels, singing, grieving beneath the sky that never stopped watching. After the burial, her father spoke for the first time in moons. "Go finish your training," he said, "but never forget the song of the camel's footsteps." Layla returned to the academy, changed but certain. Her feet had danced both songs now, of the sand and of the badge. Years later, she became the first Tuareg woman to patrol the desert border. She rode with a radio in one hand, a scarf over her face, and her mother's veil tied around her wrist. And so ends the story of Layla, who chose both silence and sirens, the desert and the dream. A girl who didn't walk away from tradition but walked with it.